Mastery. Today, I want to talk to you about some of the strategies that you can use to help yourself during these challenging times. And yes, you probably know them, but it's always worth mentioning it again, possibly from a different viewpoint. So, I had lots of conversations over the course of the last 24 hours. For those of you who know, I held a webinar last night to clear the fear. It's a weekly webinar run at 7 o'clock every Wednesday evening, and the details can be found on my events page. During this session, my plan is to allow those joining the call to clear something that's important to them, that's causing them anxiety, fear, stress, and yes, some other emotional content, anger, frustration, and dissatisfaction. There was a whole raft of different things that came out last night that was um, just the beginning, and then the conversations together today that have helped me build up what's going on. So, we're struggling, many of us, with being kept in our own homes. Some of us don't like being told what to do. Some of us are finding the close proximity with other people 24/7 just a little hard, be they family or friends. Maybe you're an introvert and you've just not got some space for yourself. A whole raft of things that are going on. People are dealing with uncertainty, not sure about how to behave or what to do during these times. And I'm here to tell you it's okay. It's all okay. What you're doing is just normal for you. And it doesn't matter whether it's right, it's normal. One of the things I mentioned yesterday is that I remember years ago learning that people who are under pressure, and let's face it, we are all under pressure at the moment to stay at home, to, keep ourselves safe by constantly washing our hands and being careful who we're coming into contact with and self isolation, we're all under that pressure. That normal behaviours become exacerbated, they become bigger and larger. And those things that you can normally just brush away are just, coming to the surface more easily and harder for you to manage. So I just want you to know, first of all, it's okay. I have talked over the last few videos about some ways that you can start to manage the emotional content through emotional freedom technique or through automatic letter writing. And yesterday I was talking about a method called drop through, which basically means you're just sitting with the emotion and allowing yourself to allow it to go through. And you're just dropping through to the next layer and the next layer and the next layer. Today I wanted to be more practical and pragmatic about what you can do. So one of the challenges that we face when we are at home, normally at weekends, we spend time with our families, and that's okay. But 24/7 can put a strain on relationships. I joked very early on in this that to my daughter we would have our own Cobra meeting. And the idea was that we would agree what we would do, the strategies that we would take. So, my first recommendation to you is if things aren't working for you, have a conversation with the others in your house to agree a set of boundaries, if for want of a better word. For example, for those of you who are introverts, this may be quite challenging in one way and great in another. But where it's challenging is you need time and space to yourself. So find somewhere in the home that can be ring fenced for time for those who want to be on their own to be on their own. Now, arguably, this could just be the bedroom, or it could be that you've got a room that you can separate so that each person in the house has an opportunity to have some downtime, alone time, time to think or get themselves together. Another boundary you could possibly discuss, which is always quite useful, is how you're going to plan your days. For those of you working from home, it's quite challenging, particularly if you've got young children or children who are being home educated. They're not the only ones who need some structure. In this time when you're under pressure, I think now is a good time to start to think about looking at what you do and how you do it. And I don't know what that will mean for you. You just choose and agree what is the good boundaries for you, so that there will be certain times when perhaps you can be disturbed when you're working, or if you're doing something else like being on the phone, the house has got to be quiet. Maybe it's the internet, because that's a problem, isn't it? Talking to somebody today, and she was on a FaceTime with me, and of course it was draining the Wi-Fi. So be mindful and realize we're all in this together. But more importantly, you as a family are in this together. For those of you who are worried, anxious, and fearful, I did mention yesterday, and just reiterating that our brain can only ever work in the now based on our past. It has no concept of the future at all. So for those of you who are feeling anxious and worried and fretful, bring your attention in. Stop listening to the news, the usual standard things, and there's a very good reason why that is, and let me tell you that in a moment. But I want you to bring your attention into today, maybe tomorrow, best case a week, but no more than that, so that you can focus on what you can control. And when I talk about not watching the news, there's a very good reason people suggest that. Because when you're watching the news, and even if you're not watching it, it's in another room and you can hear it, your conscious mind may listen to it, but so does your unconscious mind, that part of the mind that you don't pay attention to. You don't know what's going on in there, but it's there to keep you safe. So if it's constantly hearing all this negativity, or if people in the household keep talking about it, your unconscious mind is just going to heighten and get more worried, because it feels like it's under attack, because it's in the now. It's right now. So that might be another boundary to think about. Only talk about this at certain times of the day. Only watch the news once a day, because you do have to keep up to date, don't you? Sensible stuff. So the other thing is, particularly for those of you who do feel anxious, worried, and fearful of the future, you can't control everything, and we're all in that boat together. So control what you can control. So I've already mentioned boundaries. I've already mentioned making sure that you've got some space if you need that. But there are other things you can control. What time you'll eat, what time you'll do the work, what time you'll give to the children. Lots of ways you can control what's going on around you, managing your finances, sorting out that mortgage or rent holiday, sorting out that credit card detail, reviewing your finances. Control what you can control. And then the things that you can't, there's nothing you can do about. And if you're only focusing the next day or two, suddenly you can start to calm down. So I think obviously there's an awful lot out there about connecting with people. I think this is the biggest thing, isn't it? That we're missing that social side of life, the going to coffee shops, that's me, or going out for meals, or going out to clubs, or whatever it is that you do for entertainment. Now, for many people, they're starting to realize that they're using, and what creativity, let me tell you, they're starting to use things like Facebook and Zoom and Skype and all these alternative ways of connecting with people and having virtual social events. No, it's not the same, but it's better than nothing. And something is always better than nothing. What if you were to set up a call on Saturday afternoon or Saturday night, Sunday morning, and just share time together? Games, meals, whatever. Just have a think about that. And there is always somebody out there who will help you with the whole technology piece. I'm only just beginning to work through some of it myself. For those of you who are feeling angry and frustrated, and let's be honest, we take it out on our nearest and dearest because they're closest to us. It's never them. If you're losing your temper with them, it's never them. It's all about what's going on for you. And let me tell you that under anger will be fear, sadness, or something else, who knows. So the anger is just the top surface, and I really do recommend you use some of the techniques I mentioned at the beginning of this video to help you to get through that. And I think probably the last thing I want to just mention tonight is that we are living in the now. And I have said that the brain can only deal with the now, and it works on everything you've ever experienced because it stores that information deep within you. And so whenever you come across something, it's clinking through to have a listen to, see what you've done before. Have I experienced that? Is that the same as that? And then it produces a response, and it happens so fast. It's so fast that your conscious mind is still in catch-up mode by the time it comes through. So it's really important that we start to feed our mind with positive stuff. So why not start to plan next year's holiday? Why not start to think of what you'll do when we're allowed out? And thinking of the positive things will help your mind to realise that actually you're okay. So even the anger side will start to calm down once you start to take control. And it's the small things, isn't it, that make the difference. Whatever works for you. Please do comment what you're doing to help yourself, what strategies you're using that will help you through this. I do have some others, and I will be doing some more videos to keep that going so that you've got different things that you can use that help you, because that's what I'm here for, to help people deal with and work through and let go of all that old negative emotional stuff. And if there is something going on for you, my webinar on Wednesday nights, they're free. Use them. The idea being that you don't have to talk about what's going on for you. No, all you do is you listen to me guide you through the clearing and come through the other side, and I help create a new past for you so that your brain's like, oh, that's what you wanted. Okay, that's what we're working towards. So that positive state, starting to put that into your mind's eye so that you can start to calm down, feel better. Any questions, then please do get in touch. I'm here to answer questions either on Facebook, or you can email me, kim@kimsearle.co.uk. Love to hear from you and see how you're going. And thank you, Debbie, for joining. I appreciate that. And the other people who've joined me. I really do appreciate you joining the calls. Just trying to work out which time of day is better. So we'll see how we go with that. And I think that's probably it. So in summary, for those who've just joined, I was talking about strategies to create space in the homes that you can have some time down to yourself, create boundaries for yourselves. So what you want people to do, how you want them to do it as a collective, because obviously, you've all got different needs and requirements. And once you know what they are, you can start to build those in. Have a plan for your day so that you can know what you're going to take control of, what you can take control of that will help you the most, and those around you. And if you're feeling bad, it's okay. It's okay. Tomorrow's another day. You can start afresh. Go to bed tonight and just know that you can set an intent to feel better, and gradually you will do. And then obviously keep up the contact, because there are people out there who need that contact as well. So why not join in together? Lots of technology these days to do it. So much better than it would have been 20 years ago. And then finally, just check out my other videos for techniques to help you out. Thank you so much for joining me. I do appreciate it. And I will look forward to seeing some of you tomorrow. And if you're watching this in catch up, thank you so much for tuning in. Cheerio. Bye-bye.